Oh yeah. What's up, YouTube? It's Mr. Ferguson here once again. Thank you guys for coming back for another video here in Central North Carolina. It's the sound of my coffee, as I mentioned in West Virginia on the West Virginia video, the White Monster. I've gotten hooked back on them again. I was just looking at some old Iraq pictures from on the computer last night with my daughters and showing them. I said, that's the spot where I first had my White Monster in Egypt in a guard tower. And then I had pictures of the sergeant that gave it to me. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in today on this Wednesday video. We've been walking around showing you the lawn a whole lot, so I didn't want to do that again today. I debated between something else, but anyways, we'll talk about Fusillade again because it's going to be more relevant to me here in a second. But thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, you're like, what the heck is this guy coming out here with the White Monster doing? We're just a DIY channel. I'm a do-it-yourself type of guy here in Central North Carolina. I'm not a professional, never worked for True Green or a lawn care company or anything like that. And then I began to get a lawn care plan about 3 years ago through Alan Hain, and begin to watch Pete Denny here in North Carolina as well, and begin to apply some of their tips and principles and lawn care plan tips to my lawn behind me. This was all killed off behind me, and it was a desert, and people in my neighborhood thought I was an idiot and a crazy man. And then we began to grow GCI turf back here, and their attitude changed, and like, dude, and now I get people walking by, dude, your lawn is amazing. So what we've done has worked. So be sure and check out some of the content history here in the channel. It's absolutely free to you. The ads do help support the channel, and we also have now a new feature that's been added to the channel here called Super Thanks, that if you do want to support the channel, you can do it through there with a small donation. You don't have to, but those that do it, I appreciate it, and the family appreciate it very much, especially in these times where everything's increasing in price. So I may have to do that every now and then because a hot monster is not good. But I want to kind of talk about fertilizer today and just have a conversation with you guys. So again, we want you to comment in the comment section below your thoughts on the video and maybe the different sections of this video. First thing is, the video I thought about doing today for Wednesday, and we may do this on Friday, is going back and doing Fusillade again. I went back, and I want to say, number one, you guys were correct. Those that said, Mr. Ferguson, you put way too much, you're correct. I don't think it was way too much as far as like it's going to like set your lawn on fire or something like that. But they're right. You have to read Fusillade. Now, typically when I go to domyown.com and they say, here's the application rate, it's spot on and it's right. However, this time they had put the application rate on there for ornamentals and for other things, and there's a different application rate for turf grass. And so you have to dig in there, but those that were in the comment section of the Fusillade video we did was absolutely spot on. I love giving credit where credit's due. I don't know everything. That's why I say what I say in the beginning of the video. I'm a DIY guy. I'm not a professional. And so 0.07 to, I believe, 0.1 or something like that is the amount that we want to use for spot treating turf grass. So there's a 0.4 to 0.7 or something on the Do My Own site that is for something different, and that's what I used. But I actually did half of that because I didn't do a full gallon. I did around 0.18. Which was still too much compared to 0.07 as the label says. So what are you talking about, Mr. Ferguson, with all these numbers? Basically, I used double or triple the amount I should for a half gallon to spot treat what I've already done. And so has it caused a big problem? No. It's maybe it stunted the grass, and it may stunt the grass a little bit longer than it should. Instead of 10 to 14 days, it may be a bit longer, but I'm seeing the Bermuda grass dry up and get brown, and I've found so much more Bermuda, and that's the reason I'm mentioning this. Up on the right side of my house and up towards the bank, Bermuda is all over. I'm like, man, I really need to tackle this. The label says we need to do it while it's actively growing, but we don't want to do it in July and August. So it's saying do it in early spring and do it in late fall. So, and don't do it when it's hot or when your grass is under stress. Well, my grass ain't really under stress when it's properly watered. So we may do it Friday. I may hold off. I don't know. Tune in and find out. So that's the Fusillade spill there. Lastly, to finish out and conclude this video of what we want to talk about today, I want to talk about fertilizer. Like Mr. Ferguson, we got to look ahead. You know, when we're talking about grass seed, you don't want to buy your grass seed a week before you go and plant it, because we know we may run out, or you may not have the opportunity to get that seed. It may be sold out. Man, that's good. So let's talk about fertilizer. Now on my channel, if you go back and watch some of my old videos, I began to use some Milorganite. Was the very first thing I used in the very first year before I planted GCI seed and I had what I had. I was using Milorganite, all au natural. Then we moved into Carbon X. We did some Carbon X, and then moved into Yard Mastery, and that's kind of been more lately. We did Flagship. We tried the Double Dark. We tried the Stress Blend. We did the other one that I can't think of. I don't think I ever used the starter fert. I've only done for seeding the past 2 years. The starter fert that I've used has been the liquid green pop from Next. And so I think this year, number one, I want to go with a starter fert that is granular. I don't think I want to do, because if you remember the last time my pump sprayer went out on me, I had the whole mix ready to go, my RGS, I had my green pop, I had it all ready, and then my battery was dead, and I was furious. So I think I want to go with a granular starter fert. I am going to try to get some RGS and do that again. I like doing RGS to promote growth of the seed. I think it does help. I think it does make a difference. And so as far as fertilizer, this past year we did protein. You've seen some of my videos talk about protein. That's what Pete is promoting and what he's been selling. So we tried something different. We moved away from Yard Mastery, moved away from just the Lowe's or Home Depot Scott's you know, or Stay Green type products, and we went with strictly protein. We did it in the fall, we did it in the spring, and then we did it in the summer. And it's a 90-day formula of slow release fert, and it did well. If I had to say, Mr. Ferguson, what's your thoughts on Yard Mastery versus protein, as far as just not the science, but just the looks of it and how it, you know, how it made your lawn look? I think they both did absolutely excellent. When you talk about price and when you talk about looks, I think the Yard Mastery looked phenomenal. It's just, some people hate it. Some people make videos about how bad, I don't know why. But when I looked at a flagship yard, and Mr. Kevin even will tell you, and he may say it in the comments of this video, what did you put down? I would stripe it, I would have GCI turf, I would put down flagship. It's half slow release, I believe. Half is urea that will kick in and give it some color instantly. But he said, man, did you put down fert? Yep. Oh my gosh. And it got him to buy it because he saw what it did to my lawn. Protein was a more just, it would green up, and when it would rain, it would really green up. But it wasn't that really fire stripes. I don't know what it is. There is a unique difference on it, but I liked the flagship, to be honest with you guys. I think when I striped this GCI turf fescue, it looked phenomenal when I would use flagship. Also, if you go back and look at my July 4th, not from this past year, but from last year, when we used Freedom, I thought that turned out. We put that down 2 weeks ahead of July 4th. The Freedom looked awesome, and the stripes were amazing, and I kept my lawn striper on all through summer. And so we took it off this year to reduce stress, and I would probably leave it on a little bit longer next year. But in comparison to protein and Yard Mastery, as far as looks, I think the protein definitely lasted about that 70-80 day mark, like people said it would, and it was green, and you could see with other lawns that don't fertilize that it was definitely staying green. But as far as like striping and pop, it was like a short burst for the flagship. It wasn't that 90-day formula, it was more of a 30 to 40 day formula for flagship, and I felt like the stripes, when the sun was hit them right, man, it was fire. But same thing could probably be said for the protein. I thought it looked good as well. I just thought the flagship, to me, what I can remember, looked a little bit better. And I probably have added pictures in here, if I have some, to show you when I was using protein versus when I used flagship from Yard Mastery. So this year, I don't know what fertilizer I want to go with. Sometimes I wanted to try protein because Pete was recommending that. And I wanted to, you know, we've been using Yard Mastery for several times. So what fertilizer do you guys plan on using this year? Now, caveat to this question is we know that prices have been way through the roof. Everything's higher. We may be getting some Stay Green, cheapo, you know, whatever we can get just to keep, you know, some Milorganite, whatever, just because of cost of price. But let's say everything is how it was 2 years ago. What fertilizer are you guys going to go with this year? Do you enjoy the Yard Mastery? Some of you science guys that can break down what's in the fert of salt-based, you know, fert, synthetic fert versus natural and all this. I try not to, I don't get into it that much, honestly, and maybe I will as I develop my lawn characteristics or whatever. But what type of fert are you going to use this year? Why are you going to use what you're going to use? Are you going to use protein because it lasts a long time? You can set it and forget it, basically throw it down, let it get watered in, forget it, walk around, in 90 days you're green. Are you going to use something like Yard Mastery, which lasts a little less time? You would have to buy more of it and put it down, and it looks pretty good. Are you going to go with something local? Are you going to go with au natural like Milorganite? What's your thoughts? What are you guys using for your fescue, for your tall fescue? Let me know in the comments below. I'm kind of on the fence here. I don't know if I maybe go with something new, maybe try a new product, maybe go back to some Yard Mastery and say, is Flagship as good as what I remember it being? Let me know your thoughts below. So I just wanted to kind of talk about fert today. So now that my Monster is a little bit warm and I've been talking a lot and I got to drink it, I'm going to go inside and drink my coffee and do some work here. But God bless you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to reading your comments. We'll mess with Fusillade possibly again on Friday. If not, we may deal with that next week. But let me know your fertilizer thoughts, what you're planning on. Are you already stocking up? Are you seeing an increase in price out there? Let me know below. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, for super likes and all that. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. We'll see you next time on another lawn care video. God bless.